Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Yoga for tight muscles begins with a gentle warm-up with targeted focus, building upon each posture. This full body yoga practice will help relieve those areas of tension or soreness. So let's get started. Let's begin in child's pose. Separate your knees, feet together. Walk those hands forward. Start to melt your belly between the thighs and bring your forehead towards the mat. Letting your arms rest. Start to feel the length of your back, the nice stretch as you use your palms to gently press your hips back towards your heels. Finding your breath. Thinking about your practice today. We're going to try to relieve some of the tension in any of those tight muscles. We're going to move our bodies a little bit by lifting the head off the floor, looking forward at the arms out extended in front of us. Bring your fingers to tense, and then walk your fingertips towards the left, and then just shift your hips slightly to the right, away from your hands, and then melt your upper body forward. So you do a little gentle twist, and you're feeling the stretch to the right side of the body. And maybe through that right armpit, and then slowly lift your upper body, shift, transition through the center, walk your hands to the right, shift the hips slightly to the left, and melt into it again. Feeling the stretch on the opposite side of the body now. And breathe. Two more breaths. And then after your second one, we're going to transition back to the center. We're going to pull the shoulders away from the ears, walk the hands a little bit closer towards your body, and then take your right hand, I want you to reach it up to the sky, turn and open your body to the right, and then send your right hand underneath your left arm, thread it under, and then lower to that right shoulder. Your head can come to the floor if it doesn't reach. Maybe make a fist with the left hand, let your head rest on it, or you can reach your left arm over the head. And wiggle those right fingertips. So just give variations, you pick what works for you. One more breath. And then draw that left hand close to your head if it's not already there. Use it to press yourself up. Press your right hand back into the mat. Lift the left arm all the way up. Give it a little wave. And then send your left arm underneath the right, lowering down. Head to the mat, shoulder to the mat. Walk either your right hand forward onto the mat to the front, or you can make a fist and let your head rest on your head, or under your head on the fist. Wiggle those left fingers. Feel that nice stretch in the shoulder. And then bring your right hand close to your head. Use it to come back to the center. And then you're going to walk your hands forward, start to shift out of your child's pose. Draw your knees under your hips and the tops of your feet on the mat. So now you're in tabletop. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Let's do a few cat-cows. So round through the back, nice little exhale as you push into the tops of the feet. And then inhale, lift the head and the tailbone, arching the back, and then rounding. And then inhaling and arching. And then exhale. And inhale, arch. And then find your neutral spine and drop your hips just gently side to side. Notice if there's any tension. And then we'll find our center. Pull the shoulders again away from the ears, lengthen the neck. Extend your right hand to the front of the mat and left leg to the back. You can have the toe on the floor, or you can even lift it off the floor, leveling out your hips for extended tabletop. One more breath here. And then slowly bring the hand and the knee to the floor. Extend the left arm, right leg. And just notice what's going on in the body. Finding your breath. And then bringing the hands and the feet to the floor. One more cat-cow. Round through the back. And inhale, arch through the back. And then find your neutral spine. Tucking your toes. Do a little shift backwards so you can stretch out the ankles. Move those feet just a little side to side. Maybe a release and then press back into those toes. So really stretching out through those ankles. One more, and then keep the toes tucked. Bring your hands, as you sit back on those heels, close to the body. Flip your palms upward, but the fingers face your feet, your knees. And then just rotate the ankles. So we're stretching through the forearms as well. Maybe wiggle those fingers. Then you're going to flip the palms down and still keep the fingers facing your knees. So you stretch out the wrists, maybe a little bend and straighten of the elbows. You don't want to cause any pain. And then one more time, flip them back over so the backs of the hands go on the floor, fingers again facing your knees, and rotate through the elbows. Just give them a little rotation. And then walk the hands forward. Spread out those fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes, and we're going to slowly transition to our downward facing dog. Shifting your hips, and then start to just pedal out your feet. Maybe bend and straighten the knees. Shifting maybe forward and back into that downward facing dog. The knees can be straight, and then try to bend into them, pushing those heels towards the floor. And your body, upper body, towards the thighs. And then find your breath. One more breath. And then walk your feet about as wide as your mat. And bend the knees, and then straighten them and push up into the toes. And then push your heels down and bend the knees, send your hips backwards. And then one more time, straighten the legs, lift up to the toes. And then bend the knees, send those hips backwards again. And this time you're going to draw your feet a little bit closer together. And then bend the knees. They're a pretty narrow stance. Lift the left leg, bend the knee. Extend it up, and then try to straighten both legs. Three-legged dog. And then bend the knee. Both knees, and then extend up again. One more time. And then bring that foot all the way to the floor. Lift your right leg. And then straighten out both legs. Extend, three-legged dog. One more time. Down and then up. And now this time, pull that right knee forward so you can bring your right foot to the floor, maybe between the hands or behind your right foot, or right hand. Lower your left knee to the floor. And then walk yourself up. Now, if you need a block here, feel free to use a block. We're going to place our hands on the thigh of the right thigh. Make sure your knee is over the ankle. And we're just going to do a gentle hinge forward and back. So just loosening things up. Now, as you go forward, if you find that your heel can come off the floor and your knee is really far forward, do a little walk, wiggle walk with your toes so you don't have your knee going over the toes. One more time. Now we're going to hinge forward, hold here, release the fingers, inhale to the sky. And then exhale, hands behind the back, interlace, open up that chest. And then release the fingers all the way up, tap the fingers above, and back down behind the back, interlace the fingers. A little stretch through the shoulders and the neck, all the way maybe up that left side, and then release, fingertips touch at the top, and then exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck your back toe, step back to plank. Find your strength, and then do a little shift forward and back on those toes. Separate your feet about hip distance or a little narrower, bend the knees, shift your hips upward, find your downward facing dog. Pedal out the knees, pedal out the feet and the knees if you need to. Shift those hips. You're going to keep your right foot down. You're going to extend the left leg up, three-legged dog. Feel that nice stretch, and then bend the knee, pull that left knee forward towards your nose, and then bring your foot to the floor behind your hand, or between the hands, lower your right knee to the floor. And then walk yourself up. And do a gentle hinge forward and back, loosening up. Sometimes the right side can be a little more restrictive if your hip flexors are tight. And again, making sure your knee is staying over the ankle, not shooting too far forward over the toes. And one more. Hinging forward. Our toes tucked under in the back just for a little more balance. Release the fingertips. Inhale, reach to the sky. Tap the fingers. And then exhale, hands behind the back. Interlace, open up that chest. Good, let's release the hands. Tap it up again. Exhale back down, hands behind the back, interlace. Just loosening up the shoulders and the neck a little. And then release the fingertips, tap up. And then exhale, hands to the floor, tuck, back toe tucked under, straighten the back leg. Find your plank. Find that plank. Now you're going to shift your hips up to the downward facing dog again. Knees are bent. Good, let's lift that right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee. You're going to kick it through the center. Between the hands, pivot onto your back foot. Find your warrior two. Windmill it all the way up. And then just do a nice little bend and straighten with that front knee. Just getting that body moving again. If there's any tightness, tension, bend and straighten into that front right knee. Make sure you can see your big toe. Bend into the knee. Open up that chest. Extend the arms to the front and back. Make sure your knee is not collapsing in, but opening up to the right. Now we're going to do some movement here. Again, just to lengthen, stretch things out. Bring your forearm to the thigh for a side angle. Reach the left arm over your head to the front of the mat. And then windmill it to a reverse warrior, keeping the right knee bent. And then windmill it back to your side angle. Reaching, you might go a little deeper, and then windmill it back, nice and slow and controlled, to your reverse warrior again. Last time, windmill forward, side angle, reaching it over, and just enjoy that nice stretch. And windmill it back, reverse. And then find your warrior two. Straighten out the front right leg, and then turn both toes to face the side of your mat. Find your star. Lengthening. And then find your goddess, bending the elbows, opening the knees. Inhale, star. Exhale, down to that goddess. Inhale, lengthen, star. Now you're going to turn your back left foot, turn to the back of the mat, right foot to the side, extend into warrior two to the back of your mat. Bend into that knee, and then straighten and bend into that left knee. And just notice the difference. If you go forward where that knee is, it's not going over the toe. Feel the shift in your hip, the stretching in that back inner thigh, and then bend into that back knee. check out, make sure you can see your big toe. Now we're going to do a side angle. So slowly come down, extend the arm overhead. Just notice the difference on this side, and then windmill it to reverse. Take your time windmilling back to side angle, reaching it over, and then windmill it back to reverse warrior. And then last time, find your side angle and just hold it here. You want it to feel very good. And then windmill it back, hold it here. And then find your warrior two. Lengthen and extend. Inhale, straighten both the arms and the legs. Find your star again. And then bend the elbows, find your goddess. Inhale, lengthen, star. Turn your right foot to the front of the mat. Bend into warrior two towards the front. Again, make those adjustments with your feet if you need to. Open up that chest. Turn your thumb to the sky, your right thumb. Straighten out the front leg and start to hinge forward. Let's find our triangle. Bring the hand on the inside of the thigh, top arm to the sky. Open it up. And however low you go is up to you. Make sure that you're not collapsing through the front. If it's hard to get that arm up, you can always bring the hand behind your back or on the hip. Now bend into the front knee. Reach down towards your ankle. Press up through that front leg. Find your reverse warrior. Straighten the front leg. Reverse triangle. A little easier. And then back to star. Extend the arms up. Turn the foot to the right foot to the side of the mat. Left foot to the back. Find your warrior two to the back of the mat. Turn your left thumb up. Straighten out that left leg. Start to reach forward towards the back of your mat. Finding your triangle to the back of the mat. Hand on the inside of the thigh, top arm up, or on the hip or behind the back. Keeping those shoulders in alignment, lowering. Take your time. Maybe you won't go too far the first time. Find your breath. Good. Slightly bend into that front knee or a little lower, and then windmill yourself all the way up to your reverse warrior. And then straighten out that left leg. Triangle, reverse triangle. And then back to warrior two. Back of the mat. Inhale, both arms up. Rotate the feet. Find your star. Bend the elbows. Find your goddess. Inhale, star. Pivot your right foot to the front of the mat. Bend into warrior two. Pivot your back foot to the side of the mat. Warrior two, lengthening, looking over those right fingertips. See if you can wiggle your toes forward and go a little deeper now. Bring your elbows, bend your elbows, bring them to about shoulder level. And then I want you to twist your upper body towards the front of the mat. Take that left elbow and see if you can bring it down towards your right thigh. Maybe stack the hands. Nice little twist here, pressing into the palms. Maybe you just hold on to the thigh, that works too. And then slowly coming back up, find your warrior two. Bending into that front knee. And then inhale, both arms up. Find your star, turn the toes open, palms open. Find your goddess. Open to star. Find your warrior two to the back of the mat. Bend into that back knee. See if you can go a little deeper now. And breathe. And then bend the elbows. Take this back, the right elbow, the one towards the front, rotate it, bring it either to the thigh, or you can hold on, or you can even stack your hands. Nice little rotation there, a little stretch through the torso. Find your breath. And then slowly coming back up, find your warrior two. And then find your star. Open it up. Goddess and star. And then palms at heart space. And then heel toe the feet in till they're about pretty comfortable. And you can bring your toes forward so your heels are behind your toes. Your legs are straight, palms pressing in. Slowly twist to the right towards the front of your mat, but keep your legs right where they are. Just press your palms together. And then slowly twist the opposite way. Keep the hips forward. Feel that nice twist. And then back into the center. Inhale, pressing the arms up and the palms together. Exhale, fingertips behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Open them up. Option here is to add a forward fold. Hinge your hips and then lower. Now maybe you just keep a flat back and lift your hands. Maybe you go lower and lift your arms upward. Find your breath. And then we're going to release the fingertips all the way to the floor. Turn your right foot to the front of the mat so you can walk your hands towards the front of your mat. And then step back into plank. Finding your plank. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Nice and strong. Now option, you can go to your knees if you need to. And you can also bend your elbows, Chaturanga, from a full plank or a kneeling plank. Find your strength and then lower your belly to the floor. Untuck your toes. Slide your elbows underneath your shoulders. Draw your hands a little closer together and elbows a little wider. And then bring your chin down just enough that you can start to lift your hips off the floor, coming just to your knees, then tucking your toes. Straighten one leg onto the floor, then the other. So you're now in an elbow plank. But your elbows are a little wider than your shoulder, maybe pretty close to the shoulders or a little wider. Push yourself backwards towards your heels. Lift those hips so you're not feeling it in the low back. Embrace any shakiness. And find your breath. And then slowly lower your knees to the floor. Take them wide, feet together. Find your child's pose. Walk it back. Melt your hips to your heels and your head to the floor. And find your breath. Feel your body grounding into the earth. And then very slowly coming up, back to tabletop. Draw the knees underneath your hips, spread out those fingers. Cat-cow, rounding through the back. Inhaling, arching. Exhale, round. And inhale, arch. One more, rounding. And then find your neutral spine. Tuck your toes, and let's find our downward facing dog. Lift the hips, pedal out those feet. Notice the difference now, and then soften the knees, draw your chest towards your thighs. And breathe. Now you're going to draw your left foot towards the floor, right leg comes up. Three-legged dog. And then I want you to pull your right knee towards your right hand, finding your pigeon. Slide your left leg back. straighten it out. Now, if you need to drop onto a block under your right hip, please feel free, or a blanket or a little pillow. The top of your left knee and your left foot is on the floor, and then just start to walk yourself forward. So you're trying to get your shoulders parallel with the front of the mat, and you're not turned too much to the side. You can stack your fists, you can walk your hands forward, bring your forehead to the mat. If this bothers your knee, an option is to do a reclining pigeon, which would be just to lay back on your back and pull the knee up. That's an option. And that's if it bothers your knee. Otherwise, please use a block. It's a great way just to help with the hips, bring the knee at an angle that feels good to you, and maybe you just stay up here. And that's plenty of lengthening through the hip flexor and stretching through that hamstring and that glute. Find your breath. One more. Now we're going to bring our body slowly coming up. Tuck your back toe under. Lift that leg off the floor in the back. Use your strength to step back to plank. If you would like, you can do a full chaturanga, so you can lower down, inhale up dog, or just a little cobra. And then tuck your toes, and then push back up into your downward facing dog. So I'm just demonstrating today what it looks like to be very stiff and tight in the muscles and not move super quickly into things, and just make adjustments. Make adjustments. I'm not able to go super deep into some of my postures, and that's okay. We just listen to our bodies. Now we're going to take our left leg up, straightening it out, three-legged dog, and we're going to bend the knee. We're going to pull that left knee towards the left hand, finding your pigeon on the other side. And again, sitting on a block if needed, or a blanket or a pillow under that left hip. Right top of your knee and the right foot is on the floor. We're going to just melt into our pigeon and pause and hold it here. So maybe you stack your hands, maybe you walk them out, and let's find our breath. And just notice the difference from this side to the other side. And again, another option is, if this is just not working for the knee, you can also do that reclining pigeon on this side, putting the left ankle over the right thigh and just holding on to the right thigh. And that's just another great way to stretch that hamstring and that hip. As you practice the pigeon, it might become your favorite stretch because it just feels so good. Stretches so much in the hip and the legs, the back. And then we're going to start to work our way out of that pigeon, tucking that back toe, slowly engaging as you step back to your plank, full body plank. And then just, again, option to do a full vinyasa flow, or just shift back to your downward facing dog. And you can pedal out the feet. You can melt into that posture, draw the belly towards the thighs. Make sure your knees are bent in your down dog, just so you're not putting pressure on that low back, pressing each fingertip into the floor. Good. Now you're going to lift your right foot up off the floor, bend the knee, pull that foot between your hands or right behind your right wrist. With our fingertips on the floor, feel free to use 2 blocks if this is challenging. We're just going to bend and straighten that back leg. So try to get it towards the floor and lift back up. So you're really stretching through that back leg. You'll see why in a moment. We're working towards another posture, and then we're going to plant the hands, step back to plank. Again, you can lower down with your arms. You can go straight to your downward facing dog. You can do an up dog or maybe just a little cobra. You can then tucking those toes and meet up in downward facing dog. And shifting the hips, wiggling them, bending and straightening those legs, and then bend them and melt into your downward facing dog. Melt your right foot, lift your left leg, three-legged dog, and then bend the knee, pull that foot forward. So you want to try to get the knee over the ankle, hands on either side of that leg. Feel free to use blocks, and then bend and straighten that back leg. So just again, really stretching through those hips. Couple more. Good. Now from here, you're going to take your back leg, and I want you to bring it forward, and then I want you to slowly roll yourself all the way up. All the way up. Finding your mountain. Open up that chest at the front of your mat. Palms face forward. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel your feet on the mat. And you're breathing. Excellent. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead, tap the fingers. Exhale the fingertips all the way behind the back. Interlace the fingers, open up that chest. Release the fingers, bring them all the way up. Tap the fingers and then have them about shoulder width apart and just relax those shoulders. On your next breath, I want you to take the right foot back and find your warrior one. So your back right foot is at a slight angle, hips are forward. Now, if you're on a balance beam, it might be hard to get your hips forward. They might be turned to the side. So maybe you go a little wider if your hips are real tight today, and that's okay. And then just draw those arms back up. And just notice what's going on in that right hip flexor. Make sure you can see your big toe on the left foot, and the knee is over the ankle, and really open it up. Option to bring the palms together and lengthen them, bringing your biceps to your ears. Again, these are just options. Feeling the outer back edge of that right foot to feel the stretch. Find your breath, and then we release the fingertips, let them float down behind the back, interlacing those fingers, opening up the chest. Make sure your neck and your head can move, it's relaxed. Good. See if you can wiggle your front leg forward a little more, going a little deeper into your warrior one, changing it to humble warrior. Option to bring your chest towards your thigh or your nose to your knee and the fingertips to the sky. And breathe. And then when you're ready, we're going to release the fingertips to the floor. Bring that back foot forward for your forward fold, and then slowly come up. Reaching the arms. Slight back bend. Exhale, palms to heart space. And then open to mountain. Relax those shoulders. Find your breath. Inhale, fingertips come to the sky. Then separate them about shoulder width. Take a step back with the left foot, finding your warrior one. Now one side might be easier than the other. One hip might be tighter. Maybe you find that you have to turn, so you want to go wider. But get those hips facing the front. Then draw those arms up. Option to interlace the fingers. If this causes any back pain, then you don't need to do that. Good. Noticing the difference in your ankle, your hip flexor, your upper body. Find your breath. One more breath. And then we're going to let the arms float down slowly behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Press the palms together. And again, make sure both shoulders are facing the front. And then start to hinge forward. Again, if you want to go further with the legs, bringing the shoulders towards the the knee. Arms can come up, nose towards the knee. Find your humble warrior. One more breath. And then when you're ready, our fingertips will come to the floor. And then you're going to bring both feet forward for your forward fold, bending the knees, and then slowly inhale, rise up. Slight back bend, exhale, palms to heart space. And then release to mountain. Opening things up. Go ahead and walk your big toes together, squeeze your thighs together. And then inhale, both arms up, interlace the fingers. And then side bend. Turn this way so you can see toes and legs together. Side bend to your right. And just feel that nice stretch up the side of the body. And then we're going to inhale to the sky and side bend to the left. And again, noticing the difference. And then inhale all the way up, and then exhale, let the hands float down and come behind the back. Interlace those fingers again and open up that chest. Make sure your head doesn't come forward. Keep that chin in alignment. And just press the palms gently together and feel the arms pulling down towards the earth. And then gently drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Knees are soft, feet are ground into the floor. And then slowly bring your head to neutral and try left ear to left shoulder. Feel the difference if one side is tighter than the other. And you're still breathing. And then back to center, chin to chest. And then back to neutral. Slowly release the fingertips and then bring your left arm under your right or right on top. I want you to bend the elbows and hold on to your shoulders so your elbows are stacked, and then pull the elbows down. And then tilt your right ear to the right shoulder. A little extra neck and shoulder stretch. Back to center, other side. And then back to center. Slowly release, extend. Now we had the right on top. Now you're going the opposite. Left on top, bend the elbows, hold on to the shoulders, pull the elbows down. Left ear to left shoulder. And center, and the other side. And then back to center, a little chin to chest. And then back to neutral. Slowly release those arms, extend them out to the side, turn the palms up, thumbs to the back. And then inhale, lift. Now bend the elbows. See if you can reach for your elbows. And open up, slight side bend to your right. Whole side of the body, all the way from the feet to the armpits, to the elbow, to the fingers are stretching. And then center, and the other side. This can be a little challenging, having the feet so close together for balance, and then release all the way down. Let those arms go. Let them float to the next to the body. So at the front of our mats, take a deep breath in, reach the arms, tap the fingers, exhale, forward fold. And now once you start coming down, bend the knees. We're going to step back into a tabletop position. Nice and slow, spread out the fingers, press the palms into the mat, untuck the toes, and a little drop of the hips side to side. One more each side. Good. Now you're welcome to take the feet to the side, or you can crisscross them and then find a seat and extend your right leg out in front of you and pull your left foot in, dropping the knee open to the side, left bottom of the foot to the right thigh. And then lengthen and twist towards your right leg. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold towards that right leg. Now, if you can't reach your foot, you are welcome to use a strap, a belt, even a towel. Anything works there. Drawing your head somewhat towards your knee. Feel that nice stretch. Take your inside left arm and reach it across to the outside edge of the right leg, wherever it reaches. Finding your breath. And then slowly walk your hands all the way up the thigh. Reach your right hand to the outside edge of your left thigh, left hand behind you. Lift and twist. And then slowly coming back through the center, we're going to pick up that left leg and cross it over the right. We're going to give it a hug so we can give a little extra stretch and twist. Option, that extended right leg. You can always bend the knee and bring the heel towards the glute if that's in your practice. If not, don't worry about it. I'm just giving options. Lengthen through the spine, hugging that knee, using the left hand behind you as a kickstand. Just feel that nice stretch. We could stretch these hips and glutes every day. Super important. Lengthen, lengthen, and then we release. And we're going to extend both legs back out. Hands behind the back, just give them a shake. Now, when you come back up, I want you to keep the left leg straight. Pull the right leg in. Bend the knee, let it fall open, and bring the bottom of your foot inside that left thigh. Lengthen through the spine, flex the foot. Inhale the arms up, and then reach for that left foot. And maybe you reach the leg, foot, maybe not. That's okay. You can always hold the ankle, the knee, but take that right arm and reach it to the outside edge. Anywhere on that leg that you can reach as you melt forward. Just get a little extra stretch there. Finding your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Notice where the tension might be coming from as you try to really let it go. And then we're going to release. Walk the hands up the thigh. Take your left hand, reach it around to the right, twist to the right. Little counter stretch. Now, when we release and come back to center, pull that right knee in towards the chest and then bring the foot to the outside edge of your left leg. You're going to wrap your left arm around that right knee, twist again to the right, or you can even bend your bottom foot, bend your bottom left knee and bring the foot towards the glute. And nice twist. Lengthening through the spine. You want this to feel good in the glute, the hip, the back, even the neck. And then slowly release, unwind, straighten out those legs, hands behind the back, give them a shake. Let's do one more butterfly, bottoms of the feet together, fingertips behind the back. See if you can just lengthen here and just bounce those knees. Just let a little bounce, lengthening, lengthening. Stay tall through that spine. And then you can slowly release if you'd like. Hold on to the ankles or the toes. Use your elbows to press your knees out as you lean forward. Let's find our breath. Hopefully some of those tight muscles are starting to relax a little more, feel a little looser. Now we're going to lengthen back up, hug the knees, give them a squeeze. Now make sure you have room behind you to lay back. We're going to scoot ourselves forward. Let's find our traditional boat pose, holding the back of the thighs, relax the shoulders. Option to let go, option to float your boat, holding on or letting go. As long as we're engaging that core and not hurting our low backs. Lengthen through the neck, and then find your breath. Each time we practice this, we get a little stronger. Super important to find that core strength. One more breath, and then we'll slowly lower the heels to the floor and start to lower all the way back down onto your mat. Now once you get there, we're going to bend the knees, we're going to walk the feet in close to the hips, because we do want to be able to take a small little bridge here, engaging the core, start lifting those hips, lengthening through the spine, making sure the knees are not falling open. Pull the knees in. Option to walk your hands underneath, interlacing, shoulders underneath, reaching your interlaced fingers towards your heels. Another option is not to have the hands under. And either way, we're going to unlace them. We're going to lower the hips to the floor, walk the shoulders out, hug the knees into the chest, and just give a little rock side to side, massaging out any tension in that low back. Now let's find our center here, and we're going to hug our right knee into the chest and extend the left leg to the front of the mat. Flex both feet. Good. Continue holding the right knee now with the left hand. Extend the right arm out to the side and pull that right knee across the left side of the body. And just enjoy that twist. Maybe you want to look towards the right. A little extra stretch through the neck. You can also bend your elbow and make it like a cactus arm. One more breath. And then we'll bring that knee back into the chest. Give it a squeeze and then pull that left knee into join. And extend the right leg to the floor. Just find that nice stretch. Notice the difference on each side. Now we're going to hold on to the left shin with the right hand. And you're going to start to pull that left knee over to the right. And again, extending the arm out to the side, left arm, or you can bend the elbow and make a little bit of a cactus arm. And look to the left and just notice the difference. Again, you want this to feel good. Enjoy that twist. One more breath. And then we're bringing that knee back to the center. We're going to hug it into the chest and then pull that right knee in as well. And just a little rock side to side. Now we're going to take a happy baby, and you can hold on to the toes, the edges of the feet. Maybe you wrap them around. And a little rock side to side. Pushing that tailbone towards the floor. And then finding your center, we're going to release those legs and hug them into the chest. And then slowly letting go of your legs, let your feet go to the floor. You can keep your knees bent if that feels better on your back, or you can lengthen and let them just fall open. Bring your palms next to the body. Palms are up. Finding your Shavasana. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. We're going to focus on our breath. And as we breathe in energy. And as we exhale any tension left in those tight muscles. Just let it go. Make sure you drink some water after this, good amounts of water, just to flush and help soften those tight muscles that we just stretched out. tune into the body, notice what it's doing, what's going on, if there's any tension, just letting it go. And when you're ready, you can start to bring movement to the body. You can wiggle the fingers or the toes. You can bend the knees. You can even roll to either side, give your knees a squeeze, release any tension. And when you're ready, we're going to roll ourselves up, pressing up, finding your easy seat, Sukhasana. And just make adjustments. If you want to sit on a block or blanket, you can. Either foot in front. We're going to bring our palms together at heart space. And then we're going to close our eyes for a moment. Press the fingertips and the palms together. Lower the shoulders, but lengthen through the spine. And find your posture and just feel how much maybe more relaxed and calm your body is, as well as some relief of those tight muscles. Take a deep breath in, reach those palms up overhead, take a peek at them. Exhale the arms out, draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, reach to the sky, tap the fingers, press the palms, exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.